Hello, I'm told I'm live. Let's see. Let's see who stops on by. Because I haven't been live but a minute. I got my pigtails on. My face is clean because I'm getting ready to go to bed soon. Hello, hello. Somebody has come on the chat. Hello, hello. Let me double check. Oh, I don't even know. Yeah, I got my stuff up. Oh, message here. I know who you are. Aw. Let's see who stops by. We can talk about Jussie Smollett. We can talk about, hopefully it's someone who knows who I am. Hopefully it isn't anybody who's just, you know, skirting around in these YouTube streets who don't know about me. So hopefully we can chat. Hopefully we can chat. So hello, I got my TV on mute. Let's see what's going on because evidently Rihanna. Yes, 2019 is the year of Rihanna. I think so. I don't know. It says all messages are visible. So if I don't see any messages, I'm just gonna assume that no one's chatting. So just to let you know, I did a making an easy shepherd's pie. I will upload it tomorrow. I made it this evening because that is what I'm eating right now. That is what I'm eating right now. So, I think the YouTube streets are quiet, and me being a little YouTuber, I thought, okay, I don't have to compete with too many people. So let me get on the scene and see what's going on. So, I'm gonna give a opportunity for anybody that wants to talk and chat to talk and chat. Here it is 6:48 in Northwest Indiana, Chicagoland area. And I am done cooking. I made my shepherd's pie, did my video. It was very, very impromptu. And truth be told, I started making the meal, and I thought, oh man, this is a great recipe to put in as a video. So truth be told, I've done these food hauls and I've done videos where I have uh, done recipes, which is far more, structured and planned, and I have all my stuff out. But it was very, very impromptu. So for those of you, stay tuned because I'm gonna upload that video. And it's a easy, cheap, economic meal, and it's a family favorite. And so I thought, well, if it's good enough for my family, and my family is pretty easy breezy, that somebody could really enjoy and do something different. And like I said, it is under 5 ingredients. Let's see: ground beef, mixed vegetables, seasonings, beef broth or gravy, Worcestershire sauce. I think that's it. Oh, and the mashed potatoes on top. So, okay, if you want to do seasonings and gravy as one, so we can keep it under 6 ingredients. So, it's a really easy meal to do. It's a family favorite. It is a meal that I can whip up if I'm not expecting guests. It's an easy meal in the summer when I have my children and their friends over. It's a filling, economic meal, and it is a meal that you can really put your own twist on it. So I hope for anyone who sees this video know that I'm going to upload that video tomorrow, and Hopefully, you will enjoy the video and either try it yourself or get some inspiration on recipes. So, yeah, thank you for the thumbs. I did all messages are visible. So unless you're not doing a message, thank you for the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. But truth be told, I am not going to stay on if I'm not going to get interaction because I have been on the video for almost 6 minutes. And I would like to interact, but thank you. There's two people on and one thumbs up. So if I get some interaction, I will stay on, but I don't plan to stay on. Who is that? It looks like, ooh, it looks like, oh, it's doing some kind of plastic surgery stuff, crazy stuff. So I wanted to talk about Jesse Smollett. Maybe I should have put that in my description. I didn't want to leave it to Jesse Smollett, but I am up to opening. I'm up to having the discussion with Jesse Smollett. I've done videos so far because I live in Northwest Indiana, Chicago, and so Jesse Smollett is what is trending. Hey, no salt BP. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for commenting. Um, Check out my video tomorrow. Now, I will tell you, I made shepherd's pie and I did use an alternate, variation to either use ground turkey instead of ground beef. And I did use seasoning, but I also said if you want to do no salt, definitely use Mrs. Dash and herbs as a no salt alternative. So thank you. Thank you for the endorsement. Now, my family likes salt. I am an undertaster. I grew up with my mother being diabetic, and so she did not salt her food. And so I grew up not really salting my food. So a lot of times I have to add salt. But I think it's important that if you are going to cater to an audience, give them the recipe and then let them know how you can have a variation. So I do have high blood pressure, so I go easy. Like I said, most of the time my family has to add salt to my recipes because I don't salt my food. And I do salt alternatives, fresh herbs, Mrs. Dash, things like that. But I did add some extra salt. So I'm going to go easy and drink lots of water with this recipe, but I did give salt alternatives. So thank you so much, Miss No Salt BP. I really appreciate it. I do appreciate you supporting me and checking out my videos. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. So, yeah, it was really impromptu. I really came online to, I should have said ask me anything, but really, I don't ever know how that's going to turn out. So I thought, let's talk about Jussie Smollett. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm a little engine that could. I'm a little engine that could, but it's okay. Um, I'm, I don't know how long you've been watching me, but every January, instead of resolutions, I do proclamations because I have found when I do a proclamation, so many things have manifested, and it's really to set the tone for the year. And so that's different than a resolution because a proclamation is really an intentional mantra really that I try to do. And when I came onto YouTube, I think I had come onto YouTube in 2016, but officially I don't count until January 1st, 2016. I was in Puerto Rico with my family and I did my first proclamation, and so many things have manifested from my proclamation that I just decided that's how I'm going to start my new year. And I don't really come up with, I just let I let my spirit, I let the universe guide me what is going to happen. And it was just so funny because there are no accidents and there are no coincidences. I think if you've lived on this earth long enough, and I've been on this earth knocking on 49, that you realize that if you listen to your inner voice and you let the spirit in you guide you, it's never going to lead you astray. And so coming into the new year, it just came to me and I said, this is going to be, I'm turning on my fan because I'm having a personal season, personal summer. Coming into the new year, it just came to me and I said, this is going to be my year of gratitude. I have had some really great years in its highs and lows, but truth be told, everything has been set on an intention. So I don't do resolutions. I do proclamations, and it's really just to to settle me into the year. So this year was going to be is the year of gratitude, and every day I have a sense of gratitude in everything and anything that comes forward. And it keeps you grounded, it keeps you focused, it keeps you present. And it was so funny because, like I said, there's no accidents. And at my church, we had a church meeting because I'm in my praise and worship. I'm in the praise and worship of my church, which is funny to begin with. But I'm in the praise and worship of my church, and I would say it was like mid late January. Oh, thank you. You know what? That is what I try to be. I try to be positive as much as possible. I realize that it's not necessarily what people gravitate to. I realize that what I do is not something that everybody wants to run to, and I'm okay with that. Part of my gratitude was I am happy and grateful that I have at any given time 500, like my number is 560 subscribers, um, because there has been opportunity to get my numbers up, but the truth is that I want to still remain me, authentic, and be true to myself. And if I never get to that 1,000, if I never get monetized, it's okay because I've been here since 2016, still haven't been monetized, and I'm still making videos. I'm still doing all the videos. I do my tag videos. I do my wellness videos. I let you see me exercise. I do my non-stop November, my don't stop December, my jumpstart January, and I'm not getting monetized. So I'm here because I want to be here. I'm not here for the numbers. I'm not here because I'm getting monetized. I'm here because I feel and I get the response back that what I bring to the YouTube streets is good for someone, and I'm okay. I'm okay with it. So, my gratitude is I am happy and grateful that I have the subscribers that I have. Oh, what are my thoughts on Just See? Well, have you seen my videos? Because I've been doing the videos on Chicago Sun Times. Because I live in Indiana, but I live in Northwest Indiana. Northwest Indiana is part of the Chicago area. So I get Indiana and Chicago. I'm literally and from the shortest place. Uh, what? When you born in Chicago, girl? You a Chicago girl. Oh, you're Chicagoan. Okay, so you know I live in Northwest Indiana, which is a hop, skip, jump into the Illinois border. I mean, I can get to Lansing and Linwood and Sauk Village like that. Okay, and to get into Chicago, like downtown Chicago, like the Palmer House where I stayed. Okay, thank you. So the Palmer House where I stayed to celebrate my anniversary this weekend was 25 miles. Okay, so I am not far. So I get the Chicago news. And I thought it was important that I report because I know the blogs are talking about a lot of stuff, but I thought it was important because we can all speculate. But listen, I can go and pick up the paper and let you know what Chicago is reporting. Okay, I know what we are all speculating and all that, but I just wanted to do a segment about what is Chicago reporting. And it's only but today, because I did a video today, that the tide is turning for Jussie Smollett. Now, I will just say, me personally, I have been holding out my own personal opinion about Jussie Smollett. Although I will say, as someone who lives here and someone who knows what was going on January 29th, it doesn't make sense. We were going through a serious weather issue where they were telling you, unless you are first responder, working in a hospital, keep your butt home. That is what we were being told. Get all of your things that you need to keep yourself at home, milk, bread, all that jazz, and stay home. No one needs to be out. I reported that during this time, a FedEx worker, yes, a FedEx worker died. Evidently, they had a personal vehicle and they were taking their personal stuff into the FedEx vehicles. Somehow or another, I don't know if they had a medical emergency, but they were found hours later dead, frozen. Okay? Serious stuff. So during this time, nobody was leaving the house. We all gathered our stuff. I mean, I'm a business owner. My employees stayed home. We stayed home. I sent out a message, stay home. So the idea of him going out at 2 in the morning. Hey, Texarkana Coco. Hey. So the idea of going out at 2 o'clock in the morning to get a sandwich didn't make any sense. Hey, didn't make any sense because I'm here. I know what's going on. I mean, I realize that a lot of people don't know what's going on, but I was sitting in this weather where the wind chill factor was 50 below zero. School was closed. Nobody was going out. Okay? And like I said, unless you are a first responder, policeman, firefighter, they're telling you to stay home. So why is he going out at 2 o'clock in the morning to get a freaking foot long? It didn't make any sense. So all of us that live in this area that was going through, like if he had this, hey, Lady V, hey. So if it had happened at any other time other than the polar vortex, maybe it would have been a plausible story. But those of us that live here who was going through that any sense. And we're, now I'll be honest. I mean, I know he's a gay. Really? I mean, can we be honest? Can we be honest? I mean, I'm not trying to do the pink door like Sean, but can we have some girl talk? Is Dick really that important? The polar vortex at 2 o'clock in the morning? I mean, it ain't that important to me. I mean, I wouldn't go out and get random dick at 2 o'clock in the morning. It was serious weather. We stayed in the house. Okay. I mean, I'm not going out to get random peen at 2 o'clock in the morning. If I can't get if I can't get that all together before the polar vortex, it's just not going to happen. Did you hear that they caught the two Nigerians on video buying the face mask? I heard it. The interview. Okay. Okay, so the GMA. I did not see it. However, okay, so the Nigerians. One of the Nigerians was someone. Yes, I heard that too. I heard that too. So the Nigerians, okay, so his report were that there were two white men again, 50 wind chill factor, 50 degrees below zero, face mask. I don't know how you can know the race, but okay, let's just give them that. Come to find out, they are reporting that they were Nigerians because if you are saying that they were white guys and we're looking at them and they're real like uh, Wakanda, right? How can you get the race mixed up? Okay, because if he was a white guy and got the race mixed up, or typically different races can't identify other races. Okay, but he's a biracial black man. How could he not know that these were black men? Okay, okay, it didn't make sense, and that's why they're pointing out the fact that they're Nigerian, because he said they were white and they're obviously not white. And then there's now a familiarity with one of them. He mentioned a partner in the interview too. I don't know anyone in the household. Woo! Listen, it is too cold to be out there looking for sausage. I'm just gonna tell you, sausage ain't that important. It ain't that important. No, it's not. I'm just saying it ain't that important. It was too freaking cold here in Chicago to be looking for random sausage. Random sausage, not sausage you've been talking to, not not sausage that you've had a conversation with, or hey Miss Attic, hey hon, not sausage that you've been having a little phone tete-a-tete. I'm talking about random sausage. Psh, yes, okay, we heard that too. Now, the Chicago Sun-Times is not doing that. They're not reporting any of that. That's why I thought that, okay, I know a lot of people are speculating and talking about it. I just read straight from the newspaper. Well, I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to that. Um I'm going to get to that. That's a good point. Um Okay, so if you haven't checked out my video, I did do the video today. And in my description, I said that it's not looking good for the actor because Chicago is a corrupt city. And with the police department, and they have, ooh, there was speculation on that. You know, the thing is this, there's so many moving parts. Nobody wants to initially victimize the victim. If someone says that they are a victim, they're a victim. You want to say, yes, they're a victim. But then when you start seeing the things that play out, and unfortunately to his detriment, he kept talking. And again, I am a connoisseur of the ID channel. And one of the things that a lot of police investigators will say is that sometimes to a person's detriment, they talk too much and they have too many specific, they've talked things in specificity. And like I said, someone living in California, Arizona, New York is not going to understand what happened that day. How are you going to, when he refused to, I'm going to talk about that. Bring that back up. Bring that back up because I was even with him on that. Okay, so let's just walk it through. He's saying that during the polar vortex, which was a very death threatening, life threatening time, he decided to go out for a Subway sandwich. Now, I just want to put it in perspective. They were the whole city was hustling, trying to get homeless people off the street, getting them in libraries and warming stations because they knew that this was life threatening weather. Okay? So when we're trying to get clean the streets off of homeless, why is a celebrity who has probably an assistant, why is he going out at 2 a.m. in the morning? Okay? So we're talking about getting homeless people off the street so they don't die because that doesn't look good for the city. And you're talking about a celebrity who doesn't need to go out at 2 a.m. Hey, Starbell. Hi, hi, hi. So, okay, let's make it make sense. Okay, all right, there's nothing wrong with going out. Well, they say that it was planned. Now, supposedly, allegedly, because I did see Funky Dineva's video. Now, again, Chicago Sun-Times is not reporting this, but I saw Funky Dineva's video, and it is alleged that he did say that he had been given a threatening letter a few weeks ago, and nobody took it seriously. So it's alleged right now that he staged this with the Nigerians who are Chicago born. They're Chicagoans. Even though they're Nigerian, their ethnicity is Nigerian, they are American. They are born and bred here. They're Chicagoans. But the reason why they're saying that they're Nigerians is because he said they were white men with MAGA hats. It's alleged that it's all stage. They were persons of interest, and again, if you don't live here, you don't know. Chicago, next to London, is one of the most heaviest camera ridden cities. I mean, I live in Indiana, but when I go into Chicago, I'm very, very cautious because I, right, one of the men was an extra. I don't want to go and run a red light or glide through a red light because I ain't trying to give them my money because there are tons and tons, thanks to Mayor Daley, there are tons of red light cameras and there are tons of cameras all throughout Chicago. He's not living in a poor area. He's in a nice area where there's lots of cameras. So again, all of us who live here are like, how come nobody can find this? He couldn't find. Well, isn't it ironic? Because they say Nigerians are notorious for doing scams, and evidently, they got scammed. And of course, I've heard about the $3,500 that supposedly they were paid. But again, they are no longer persons of interest. They're no longer persons of interest. And then Kim Fox, who's the prosecutor attorney, she's recused herself because evidently there is some kind of familiarity or relationship. Hold on a second. What? I'm taping. What do you want? What do you want? No. What do you want? No. Get Milo out because all he's going to want to do is leave again. Call him out and shut the door. He's just going to come back out as soon as you shut the door. Okay, sorry about that. So, it doesn't make sense. But I do feel okay. So, the brothers came to Cook County. They did not speak. Their attorney was there, and there wasn't any indictment. However, we are still waiting for Mr. Jussie Smollett to come to Cook County. Now, they're all saying that on Monday, when I did my report, they were talking about They were waiting for his scheduling availability. But according to one of you guys that said that he's been axed, um, he ain't gonna have a problem. Now, one of the things I also reported is that, I don't think he realized, and again, I would hate to think that this is stage and that this is all a hoax. Did you see the report that Jesse lied before? Yes! And he claimed to be. Yes! I did see that online through CNN. So you see how now the tide is turning? So thank you, Miss Addict. So, okay, so this is what happened. I read two articles. And the second article was that there's a Democratic Illinois representative, Bobby Rush. And when it first happened, he's like, not on my watch. And he actually had a conversation with the FBI saying, like, listen, I need you to go and probe this and check this out because not on my watch. We are not going to have a hate crime, racial, homophobic hate crime while I am, you know, garnering this part of the city because that is his area. That's true. That's very true. No salt That's that. This is what everyone is having an outcry like. Okay, you are going to make it hard for everybody else who is an actual victim of a racial and or hate crime. But right now, they want him to come and sit down because there are inconsistencies and we want to verify and corroborate. Chicago, I will just say this. Chicago is treading lightly. As far as the reports are concerned, they do not want to come across that he is an offender and not a victim. And that's what I keep reporting. It's weird that no one from the Empire. That's true. That's what I'm talking about. And again, that's what I said on my video. In the beginning, it was justice for Jussie, all this stuff. And now that the reports are coming out, um, nobody from Empire are talking. And what I was saying before, the second article that I read, Nancy Pelosi, who first put a tweet out, they've got that retracted. That's now no longer out there in the atmosphere. Bobby Rush, who was like, I want the FBI to take care of this because this cannot happen in my city that I govern. Now there's a representative for Bobby Rush that's no longer making comments. They're just going to wait and see it out. And so people are falling back because it's just not looking good. And I will just say this. Again, I said this on the video. He did a he did a concert. He made a public statement there that can be used against him. He then sat at Good Morning America, which is a national syndicated broadcast news show that can be used against him. He did hire Mark Garagos, who is the attorney to the stars, who's going to do damage control. Yes, who's going to do damage control, but he has said so much. And I heard that even Robin Roberts, who is a professional and is a consummate reporter, her body language says, I ain't buying what you're selling. I ain't buy. Yeah, well, he might be, but he's the Olivia Pope um of 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 for the stars. So the comment said he's on drugs. I don't know, but here we go. So we want to do predictions? Because I had made a prediction and now that things are starting to unfold and come forth, because again, Chicago is not saying anything about what we're hearing in the blogs. I don't understand why he would do this, maybe to garner support and attention. Okay, so according to Funky Dineva's reports, it is alleged that he had been given, and again, it's like fruit from the poisonous tree. He was given threats weeks ago that was sent to him, and no one took it seriously. And that it is alleged that he went and staged this so that people would now see the urgency and the severity and the seriousness of his threat that was sent to him through the mail. That is what is seen. But again, I mean that yeah, that hasn't worked out for anyone, because what's Rachel Dolezal, she was what head of the NAACP, and by all accounts she was fighting a good fight. But where she tripped up was that she was sending herself threats. Yep. Lacey Peterson. Yep. He's a force to be reckoned with. Mark Garagos, he hired a hard hitter. But Rachel Dolezal, where she tripped up on was that she sent herself like bomb threats and stuff. And then when it got to other law enforcement, they figured it out. And then her whole cover was blown. And I feel like that got that kind of tease. Yes, I heard that they found magazines and that the threat was made from, yeah, and it was cut out. And it's very, 1980s, I want you to die. And like I said, he made so many specific, details that sometimes, that saying the devil is in the details. Sometimes when there are too many details, the law enforcement looks at it. Lee Daniels wanted to create a show surrounded by gangs. Who knows? I mean, there's some outlandish stuff being said that he's in cahoots with him. Here's the question. Do you think, if you don't think that it's real, do you think that Jussie Smollett did it himself, or he's in cahoots with other people? Hey, beautiful soul. Oh, I'm so glad you're on my live, girl. You may have to catch me on the replay because we've been talking. We're talking about Jussie Smollett. I know you reported it, but I don't know if you saw my video, but I live here in Northwest Indiana, Chicagoland area. So I have been doing my segment, What the Chicago Sun-Times reports. So it's a lot different than what the blogs are reporting. I think they're being very cautious and not treating him as a victim. And so that's what we're getting. But the tables are turning. He's getting some blowback because, like I said, oh, thank you. So, Nancy Pelosi, Bobby Rush, who's here, or who manages the South Side, a Democrat in Illinois, they're all stepping back. I truly believe Jesse Lee and the manager. You know, Here's the thing. He is really doing well. Why would he? And I listen. I hate to say fame's a bitch, but it might just be. It might just be because to the average person, no one is understanding. And they're listen, if they're was he girl, I got my TV on mute. Let me check it out. Let me check it out. Let me see. I'm gonna have to put myself on one of the stations. Let me go on channel 2. See, it's too early. No, see, Chicago Med and stuff is still on. I can't. I'm not getting any. Ooh, Chicago Tonight. That's PBS. Let's see what's going on there. His album was being, but that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. Are you trying to tell me? Are you trying to tell me that we can't do the old-fashioned way of just dropping an album and running the circuit and publicizing and going through the circuit of putting, hey, I'm Jesse. I got an album. I'm part of Empire. You know, come check my album out. Really? Are we at the point that we got to fabricate near death experiences for album sales? Is the fame that hard? Because, I mean, you're famous. You're on a high rated. Right. Okay. So, okay. Tex Arcana Coco was talking about him being on drugs. Okay. So, predictions. What do you think is going to be the crisis? Somebody's got to be Olivia Pope in this, right? So, how are we going to spin it? Are we going to hear that I'm confused too, but now we got to do crisis, right? So are we going to Olivia Pope this, and is the attorney going to say that a formal statement that he has checked himself in a rehab place for an unknown, undisclosed location to take care of his issues, and we're going to even leave it up to listen, Chicago is not in a good way. Like I said, I live in Indiana. And in Indiana, we are always trying to promote come to Indiana, okay? We got lower property taxes, lower sales taxes. You can get your cigarettes cheap, you can get your alcohol cheap, and now you can actually buy alcohol. See, like Illinois, the only thing they had over us is that you can get alcohol on Sundays, but that is also lifted. Now in Indiana, you can go, but hold that thought. In Indiana now you can even get alcohol on Sundays, but you can't purchase it until noon. So you can get your cigarettes, your gas, your fireworks cheap in Indiana. Property taxes are cheap. I mean, there's no reason to stay in Illinois. Mental illness. People are already trying to say he's dealing. Okay, okay, okay. Thank you. So we're gonna put that in there. Um, it, it seems as though being on a hit rated show. Now, I heard that his character was going to be axed, and I also heard that um, some kind of musical was going to be cut. So, do you think that he thought that his acting career was over? Like he couldn't get another career and now he was going to do this outlandish thing? I really hope not. That's crazy. Crazy. Mental illness. Okay. It doesn't make sense, but I'm just gonna desperation. I'm just gonna pull the old lady card. I'm thinking I'm knocking on 50. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know what these young folks do. Fox Studios came out and said acts wasn't true. Okay, so what's the deal? What, it doesn't make sense. What happened to grinding and just let it be what it be? Has the new generation, maybe, does this new generation not know how to fail? Like, all good artists have a bad album. I don't care if you're Prince, Michael Jackson, The cutscenes happen after. Ooh, the cutscenes happen after the Nigerian brothers started talking. I'm sure did. They sang. They sang. Listen, anybody who's ever watched Law and Order, when you hear the music start playing, that's when you know that they're gonna start talking. And I could hear the music in the background when the Nigerians started talking. But it's like nobody wants to fail. Everybody thinks that if they do something outlandish, because that's what people were talking about with Cardi B, right? And she was having this high rate of success, but then Offset, it was on the eve of his album, and so it's like, we got to get back together. We got to do all this so that your album doesn't flop. But seriously, like, every great artist has one sucky album. Everyone. Why? Okay, so here's the conversation that I had at my office. So roll with me. So this is what I feel. Okay, Rose from The Golden Girl. Picture this. Jussie Smollett is standing at the Cook County Prosecuting City Hall. Family behind him, Journey Smollett, because she is the other known actor, by his side, holding his hand, maybe his partner next to him, and his attorneys. He comes with a prepared statement. It is the best acting of his career, okay? All the news people are there. He's standing there. Breaking news. First of all, I want to let you know that on the date of blah, 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 I received a letter and this is what happened. I felt desperate. And no one believed that I was being attacked. I felt my life was threatened. That's true. So I orchestrated, not the best idea, but I orchestrated under the desperation an attack. First of all, I want to say sorry to my family who has been behind me through this whole ordeal. I want to say sorry to the city of Chicago. I want to say sorry to my friends and family. My second favorite lead, Terrence Howard. Taraji P. Henson. You never faltered. I want to thank I want to say sorry to my LGBT community and my black family. I let you down. And I just ask that in this time of recovery that you please forgive me. Do you think he's going to do that? Because right now, like you said, everyone thinks that that letter that he supposedly got that was cut out from magazine letters, that was all a hoax too. So do you like my performance? Do you like I've done a couple of studio films. I've done a couple of student films. Do you think he's going to come out with his publicist? Do you think that he's going to come out with a already made statement? He did send the hate letter to himself. Ooh. He is gay to parts too. Miss Attic, you ain't right. We're gonna take we're not even gonna we're not gonna talk about that. Because it doesn't matter. But again, why? Okay, if he sent the letter to himself, why? Do you think that he was desperate and so concerned that he was going to get axed and not get another job. Do you really think that he did that? Because, I watched Funky Dineva's thing, and I wonder if the authorities are saying so. The authorities are not saying anything. I told you, I read in my video the Sun Times Magazine. Listen, he's going to have to do a serious mea culpa. I'm talking about falling on the sword, like running and jumping on the sword. Because, like I said, Chicago is broke. Okay? And Chicago cannot afford all the manpower and the man hours that it has taken to try to settle what is considered a high profile. No city wants to have a celebrity attacked, assaulted, okay? A hate crime, a homophobic crime. This I was having this conversation with my husband, and this was what made me mad. It's like you always hear about somebody wanting to start a race war. And in the light of our political and racial climate, and especially in Chicago, especially a police department that has been known for its impropriety of corruption. Why would you do that? Like, you did not think this through. Like, you could have done this somewhere else, but you could not do Chicago. And that they would have all hands on deck to make this, to right this wrong. This is, Empire is filmed here. Why would you want to put that kind of heat on you? That's what doesn't make sense. I just got something that came through about let's now what happens. Now, okay, so I didn't talk about it. It was pointed out. This is how you know that he is no longer looked at being a victim. So in 2007, I believe it was 2007, evidently he went and he was pulled over under suspicion of DUI. And instead of putting his name down, he put his brother's name down. And he ended up pleading no contest and also failure, um, false reporting. So now, when you start hearing that, that's how you know that he's not any longer being seen as a victim. Maybe he doesn't want to act anymore. That doesn't make sense, but his family wants him to. The large I don't know. He's in his 30s. I mean, you should be able to say, I don't want to do this anymore. The new get rich scam is black outrage. Well, I believe that there is maybe it's not the same, but I do believe that there is a phenomenon of selective outrage where we get mad about one thing, but it doesn't make sense because if you're mad about one thing, you should be mad about others. But the thing about it is that I'm not even kidding. When the attack came out, there was so much justice for Jesse. And again, when you do something in this climate that is so volatile, you did not do something that it just drew so much attention. That's why I'm not understanding. That's why everybody is scratching their head like, why? What is the why? And only he knows why. I don't know if we're going to hear about the why. Maybe we'll hear about it in another couple of hours. Maybe when I wake up and I check out the newspaper, we're going to hear more news. But it doesn't make sense. It, you know what? Again, I'm sick to my stomach too because I was really outraged because again, I wanted to hold my thoughts because I never want to um, offend a victim. But if someone lies, then my thing is they need to be charged to the fullest. extent of the law. It's just like a woman who cries rape and then a man loses his freedom and his marketability, you know, you can't reclaim that back. Does the man now deserve to now make sure that this woman gets, you know, go to jail for filing a false reporting? It goes along the same lines. I mean, if I was accused of something, yes, he definitely needs to be held accountable. And unfortunately, I don't think he's going to get out of it because the FBI is involved. I mean, I think it was all well and good when it was local, but now the FBI is involved. There's no way to get around it. And people are going to want to have answers. That's the thing. So, Jesse, you in trouble, man. You in trouble. I mean, I don't think you're going to be able to get out of it. I mean, listen, let's just, deal in the playbook of celebrities. Go to rehab, get your mind right. Yep, yep. I mean, I don't know anything about the manager. Nothing has been said about the manager, but it'd be interesting to hear about what happens. But listen, Jesse's gonna have to go to treatment. Go straight to rehab. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Go to rehab and let your attorney be your spokesperson and let your publicist be the gatekeeper. Don't say nothing no more. And you know, the fact of the matter is that we have a very short term memory, and in 6 months there will be something more outrageous. Shoot, in a month there'll be something more outrageous, more outlandish. Who knows, you might hear some more BS stuff about R. Kelly that will make what he says go away, and you go in exile for a little bit, and then you resurge. That's the only way you are going to have any kind of resurrection of a career, really. Um, you cannot show your face to anything at all. You need to be hiding, and you need to be figuring out how you're going to get out of this mess. And all these professional people you are paying for, they're going to have to do your work. I mean, that's really it. Because right now, it's at a point that in the court of public opinion, nobody believes you. Everyone is quiet. And like I said, in Chicago, the only thing they are reporting is that this has now become a political situation, because when we're talking about hate crime, we're talking about policies, we're talking about social justice. It's more than just you want someone to pay attention to you. It's gotten out of control, it's gotten out of hand. There's too many things. And now Bobby Rush is not saying anything. Nancy Pelosi's not saying anything. So you're not getting that local backing. That's possible because people are not having any tolerance. Now, in my Chicago Sun-Times, there was like an op-ed piece. Maybe I'll read that tomorrow, and piggyback on whatever else comes out tomorrow. Maybe I'll do that because I didn't read that. I read two articles, yes, two articles today. So maybe I'll read the op-ed piece. I didn't even look at it. So I may have to go get the paper tomorrow. There's a new video with a different girl. Okay, he's actually doing. Ooh. That's another time for another live. But okay, so I don't think I've ever been on live this long. Thank you guys so much. It is, whew, I'm old. I don't think so either, because it's just too many people, and it's just out of control. It's out of control. I just don't know how he's going to be able to do damage control. The only way he can come back is to be gone for a year or so and then start over. He's not going to be able to start an empire. He's just going to have to start over. But he's going to have to be gone for a minute. a minute. That's the only way he's going to be able to do it. There's also a video out on social media where the brothers are saying, yeah, yeah, I heard that too. But Chicago is not reporting it. And that's why I did my videos, because I wanted mine to be a little bit different. I know a lot of people are speculating, but I just was reading straight out of the paper so that you know what we are being told. Thank you, Miss Addict. Thank you so much. I don't do them a lot, but I thought, you know what? I think things are quiet on the streets and I can actually do a video and people will actually want to hear what I have to say. So I thought it was safe to be out here on the YouTube streets. So, yeah. You know, I'm going to say this and I'm going to end the live. I am just as mad if it's a fake. I am just as upset with him saying that it was white people with MAGA hats. I have the same amount of anger as I did when I heard Susan Smith in South Carolina saying that two black men carjacked her car and took her babies. Because when we're talking about race, it gets really dicey. People get hurt, and I'm not for that. I'm not for a witch hunt. I'm not for innocent people getting jacked up. I'm not for racial profiling. That's where I have my anger. And I don't think anybody needs to have that. I agree with that. Oh. Oh, there's a blackout. That's good. Okay, it's good to come out. It's good to come out on the streets. Great live. I'm gonna leave too. Thank you, beautiful soul. Thank you. It's been an hour. So it's a good way to end it, but yeah. Thank you so much for participating. I appreciate it. Tell your friends, share, thumbs up. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Take care of yourself and each other. I'm going to bed.